Well, you're lucky the Lord looks sideways.
This week on iTunes, the new cut from Braden V, some NSFW fun with Boxcar Dan and the Vagabond Strangers, and a musical lifting up of the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Yous ready, PEI? Let's get her done! How's she going, Prince Edward Island? I am your host, Adam Michael James, and you are listening to iTunes for the week of September 29th, 2024. This portion is sponsored by Technomedia. Hey, what's up with all the car accidents on the island lately? Even according to CTV News, PEI is the most dangerous province for fatal car crashes with double the national average. I know we're all up in our own lives and in a hurry to get somewhere, but how about sharpening our eyeballs just a little bit more when we're on the road and being a little more careful? And I extend that to myself since I still have lead foot tendencies from my years of driving on LA freeways. Let's see if we can't bring that average down and prevent more tragedies for island families, shall we? All right, enough of that. Now from soapboxes to beatboxes. Braden V's become such a household name on the PEI rap scene that it's hard to believe he only started spitting rhymes 4 years ago. He's already released 3 EPs since 2020 and topped that off with last year's Good Life CD, a greatest hits of sorts combining songs and singles from those EPs into one collection. But that was then. This is now. And now means the imminent release of his newest work, Neon Nights. I don't have a release date for that yet, but several weeks ago he did let me preview a demo mix of one of its cuts for you. Ish has gotten real though, because the BV just 2 days ago dropped a collab with Spivvy, and of course, iTunes has it. This is Fade Out, fading in as an
iTunes World Premiere.
iTunes F-bomb alert!
Yeah, it's my turn. Spectators watch and learn. I will be your passenger. I am the ambassador, a true black sheep. I ain't never fit in with the herd. I can be your enemy anytime the need occurs. So I got no worries where my team's concerned, and no go blaming me when I shoot the messenger and you ain't paying any attention. No, you haven't heard. Braden V is killing all these beats. Yeah, it's a massacre. No, I don't need a deal. I don't need your team while they're living online. I've been out here living dreams. I don't need the cosign, cause I do it differently. I just vibe and do my own thing. If you've been feeling me, and they're gonna be saying my name every time I'm turning it up. I'm setting fire to the mic. Yeah, I'm burning up every cut. Cauterize haters tripping over dollars, chasing dimes while I'm waking up the club. Excuse me while I bring it back now. Bring it back now. We don't back down. We don't back down. All my haters watching fade into the background. Into the background. Fade into the background. Bring it back now. Bring it back now. We don't back down. We don't back down. All my haters watching fade into the background. Into the background. Fade into the background.
The cost of playing, divide the range and I learn to say it. Concoct a phrase to deny the praises of all who bring it. Who better than me to pervade the fate of the instigators? Sentimental fucks who stalk they fucking face in places never they ever should be. Sediment clinging until I step and they start to the peak and they all fall down. Patiently waiting to step in our ring now. This is hard who you call when your flaws break out. Imagine never earning a thing you had. Play the victim like all you win and they simply came from dead. And then you wonder why your shit been getting stale and bland. Like all your intimate sessions just ain't getting them into it. Maybe you just ain't got the odd future. Maybe playing something real that's just lost to you. Maybe you gon' hear this in your mind or just start cluing like who this? The shoe fits, the truth hits, it's ruthless.
Bring it back now. Bring it back now. We don't back down. We don't back down. All my haters watching fade into the background. Into the background. Fade into the background. Bring it back now. Bring it back now. We don't back down. We don't back down. All my haters watching fade into the background. Into the background. Fade into the background.
Tryna understand your ways. Soulmates turning us to again. Now I'm off the high. Boy, you're off my mind. You're really taking up my space with these empty conversations that look right on your face when you left without a trace. Can't miss my text for days with no hesitation. Didn't come to phase you, got me spiraling for days. You listen, I'm useless to the pain. I wanna dive right deep into your brain. Everything we said wasn't the same. Now I don't even recognize your name. Now I'm off the high. Boy, you're off my mind.
Should've known it was off when the jewels that I bought for your neck came off like clutter. Same love that I lost was a love that I found with a hope we would grow with each other. Caught a glimpse of your eyes, I felt butterflies. I've never been good at subtle. All these sins on my mind and you kept them alive, but I never took you for trouble. Who took who for granted? Times on a pause feel like two whole planets. Trust fell for myself, course I took no damage. Fate stays in my hands, that's a whole blank canvas. That's a whole new standard, hell to live up to. I was up too high, I couldn't see the truth. Sober now, I'm landing on the moon. I've been off the high since I've been off
Now I'm
to
off the
you.
high. Boy, you're off my mind.
That is Nadia featuring Vince the Messenger on iTunes with Off the High, the 2022 single that nabbed Nadia a 2023 Music PEI nomination for R&B Recording of the Year. Nadia doesn't just drop singles willy-nilly, but when she does, they seem to attract accolades like a magnet. At this year's MPEI Awards, she was again up for R&B Recording of the Year with her sultry ballad Intertwine, which, by the way, did take home a trophy for Music Video of the Year, Red and Blue Beguilement, directed by Griffin O'Toole. This next artist offered up a less titillating beckoning in 1997, but that doesn't mean it was less inviting. Aubrey Plains native Anita Curran released Come With Me Into the Fields that year. There's not a lot of info about her online, but the album cover betrays the fact that she was pretty young then. Not that you'd know from her rich beyond her years vocals. Here's a primer for the song we're leading up to here. It's called Boulavogue, and it's based on Father John Murphy, a priest in an Irish town of that name who led his parishioners into battle during the Irish Rebellion of 1798. What did he get for his troubles? Tortured, flogged, decapitated, burned, wow, overkill, guys, and then they stuck his head on a stake as an example to others who might rebel. That makes for some light reading. A century later, in 1898, Patrick Joseph McCall set his lyrics about the event to an ancient Irish air, and the rest is Anita Curran singing it 99 years later. Just missed 1998 by a year. It's Boulavogue on iTunes.
At Boulavogue, as the sun was setting on the bright May meadows of Shimbanel, a rebel hand set the heather blazing and brought the neighbors from far and near. Then Father Murphy from old Kilcormac sped up the rocks with a warning cry. Arm, arm, he cried, for I've come to lead you, for Ireland's freedom will fight. Against the cunning soldiers, the cowardly yeomen, we put to flight. 'Twas at the Harrow, the boys of Wexford showed Borky's regiment how men could fight. Look out for our lines, King George of England. Search every kingdom that breathes a slave. For Father Murphy from the county Wexford sweeps o'er the land like a mighty wave. At Vinegar Hill, o'er the pleasant Slaney, our heroes vainly stood back to back, and the O's at Tullow took Father Murphy and burnt his body upon the rack. God grant you glory, brave Father Murphy, and open heaven to all your men. For the cause that called you may call tomorrow in another fight for the green again. God grant you glory, brave Father Murphy, and open heaven to all your men. For the cause that called you may call tomorrow in another fight for the green again.
The Balladry of Anita Curran, musically telling us the tale of Boulavogue on iTunes. Yeah, you caught me. Part of the reason I chose this track is because half of it is Vogue. There's nothing to it. Coming up, A Dream from Visten, some emeralds from Emily Williamson, and Didi Austin and Julie Pelissier-Lush team up iTunes style to mark this year's National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. As evidenced by the need for that National Day, history is messy and complicated, and sometimes, in hindsight, silly. The island is full of all of it, like everywhere else. And here's a smattering of rip-from-the-headlines rhetoric I like to call This Week in PEI History. September 30th, 1936. It was reported in the Charlottetown Guardian that James Evans of Irishtown had received recognition earlier in the month, on the 11th, for becoming the island's heavyweight champion boxer. A William Murphy presided over the gathering organized by Fred Reddy, who read an appropriate address, while David Campbell, quote, made the presentation of a lovely, well-filled purse, unquote. Gee, I hope that purse went with Jimmy's boxing shorts. There was also much music provided by Ferdy Kilbride, Lee Campbell, Charlie Tuplin, and Roland Mackenzie. Any of those names sound familiar to any of you guys? Tell me about them. October 4th, 1916. Also in the Charlottetown Guardian, there was great excitement generated by a school of grampus whales that swam into the harbor at Summerside. Apparently, the whole town rushed down to see the great visiting cetaceans. And how are they welcomed? Residents considered it a hunt and gunned down at least 24 of the estimated 60 to 100 whales in the school. Smooth move, Summerside. Now we know why Greenpeace was formed, though that wouldn't be for another 55 years. October 5th, 1891. The Daily Examiner published a notice that a John Vissy had been awarded a contract to carry mail between Charlottetown and Eldon. Passengers and parcel were touted as being carried at reasonable rates, plus there was a promise of, quote, good horses and comfortable carriage, unquote. I suppose that's better than good carriage and comfortable horses. Hey, you know, one thing I forgot to mention back there is that Anita Curran's album was recorded at Gordon Belcher's Guernsey Cove Studios, and that her CD's graphics and layout were done up by Technomedia. And wouldn't you know, that's a sponsor around here. Pretty cool if they were creating album artwork for artists in 1997 already. Let's hear more about that, but go nowhere because iTunes will be the rightest of back.
Looking to increase your digital presence? All you need is Technomedia. From branding to graphic design, website development, photography, social media campaigns, and more, Technomedia's got your back. With 30 years experience to back them up. Find them at technomediapei.com or call 902-368-3043. Technomedia. Let's create something together.
Bonjour tout le monde, c'est Patricia Richard de Sirène et Matelot et vous êtes à l'écoute de isletunes.
Mamie, j'ai fait un rêve, oh cette nuit. Mamie, j'ai fait un rêve, oh cette nuit. Oh cette nuit, Maluré l'appelle, oh cette nuit, Maluré l'en a. Oh cette nuit, Maluré l'appelle, oh cette nuit, Maluré l'en a. Le matin je me veille, 3 coups frappa. Le matin je me veille, 3 coups frappa. 3 coups frappa, Maluré l'appelle, 3 coups frappa, Maluré l'on l'a. 3 coups frappa, Maluré l'appelle, 3 coups frappa, Maluré l'on l'a. Qui frappe à la porte à 16 heures-là? Qui frappe à la porte à 16 heures-là? À 16 heures-là, Maluré l'appelle, à 16 heures-là, Maluré l'on l'a. À 16 heures-là, Maluré l'appelle, à 16 heures-là, Maluré l'on l'a. C'est votre amant l'appelle, ouvrez-lui donc. C'est votre amant l'appelle, ouvrez-lui donc. Ouvrez-lui donc, Maluré l'appelle, ouvrez-lui donc, Maluré l'on l'a. Ouvrez-lui donc, Maluré l'appelle, ouvrez-lui donc, Maluré l'on l'a. À 16 heures-là, je n'ouvre pas la porte. À 16 heures-là, à 16 heures-là, Maluré l'appelle. À 16 heures-là, Maluré l'on l'a. À 16 heures-là, Maluré l'appelle. À 16 heures-là, Maluré l'on l'a. Si tu n'ouvres pas la porte, noyé, je m'en vais. Si tu n'ouvres pas la porte, noyé, je m'en vais. Noyé, je m'en vais, Maluré l'appelle. Noyé, je m'en vais, Maluré l'on l'a. Noyé, je m'en vais, Maluré l'appelle. Noyé, je m'en vais, Maluré l'on l'a. Au galant si tu te noies, dans les tu seras. Au galant si tu te noies, dans les tu seras. Dans les tu seras, Maluré l'appelle. Dans les tu seras, Maluré l'on l'a. Dans les tu seras, Maluré l'appelle. Dans les tu seras, Maluré l'on l'a. Mamie, j'ai fait un rêve, oh cette nuit. Oh cette nuit, Maluré l'appelle, oh cette nuit, Maluré l'on l'a.
is Vishten with Mamie, j'ai fait un rêve, or to us Anglophones, my dear, I had a dream. Except this is no dream, it's iTunes. Certainly, though, this is the 20th anniversary of a dream coming true for twin sisters Pastel and Emmanuelle Leblanc, plus Pascal Mius, as Vishten's first self-titled album came out in 2004. What you just heard was selected from their 2007 record, 1111, and they continued putting out CDs until their unintentionally final album in 2018. As I'm sure you know, Pastel succumbed to breast cancer 2 years ago. In Pastel's memory, surviving members Pascal and Emmanuelle have reached out to other artists to form Vishten Connexion, whose debut album features Catherine McClellan, Rowan Gallant, and Jessie Perriard from 10 Strings and a Goatskin, Six Hearts, and Julie Pelissier-Lush, who we'll hear from sooner than later. Now, if you don't remember Expo 67, and hell, even I wasn't around for that, said expo was a giant World's Fair held in 1967 in Toronto to celebrate 100 years of Dominion. Did you know its third day set the single-day attendance record for a World's Fair, with 569,500 visitors visiting? That's like, take 4 PEIs, put them on islands built just for this thing. Imagine all the colorful people that washed up on those shores. That's perhaps not unlike Prism Shores, there I tied that together, a Charlottetown indie band led by Jack Ethan, who put out their first record, Youth in Abstract, in 2019. In an interview at the time, Jack said, quote, "Lyrically, this album is sort of a reflexive meditation on being super young and living on an island. Charlottetown," he added, "can be very isolating and mundane, but can also feel like the center of the earth in the summertime." Unquote. I'm gonna guess that if these Shore Boys had attended the 1967 World's Fair, this is what they would have performed there. It's Prism Shores on iTunes with Expo 67.
You still wear that bracelet I made. Call it ironic, your hands in your pockets and emerald green strings at your wrist. And you still go to the places we went. For you that's home, but for me it's the memories of you that I once missed. Hold me tight one last night. Ooh. And I still have those t-shirts he gave me. Joked about burning them, maybe returning them, but thought to keep. And I still go for drives down by the sea. Flashbacks of memories you were impressing me, playing hide and seek. Hold me tight one last night. Just take my hand and we'll go to the sand. We won't tell a soul, keeping it secret. And I did believe that forever had somewhere to go, and our intentions were pure as gold. No matter the weather, we were together, but forever was ages ago.
isletunes brings you Emily Williamson with her 2022 track Emerald Strings. So far, according to Spotify, she only has 2 singles to her name, the other one being Backseat Lovers. Ooh. But you can't blame a girl for sparse output, not when, according to her Instagram account anyway, she's been finishing up a music degree in Holland College's School of Performing Arts program. Given how good this song sounded pre-graduation, think of what she's gonna turn out once she gets her diploma, if she hasn't gotten it already. Now, speaking of Backseat Lovers, ooh, if you have an aversion to bawdy shanties that focus specifically on infidelity, you might want to turn your ears away, delicate as they are. Hey, I'm a borderline prude whose groove is monogamy, and I find this hilarious. So do Boxcar Dan and the Vagabond Strangers, who bill themselves as a hobo country comedy band that leans more toward the comedy scene than the music scene, though that's not to take away from their clearly skillful musicianship. Celebrating their 15th anniversary this year, the quirky quintet is made up of course, Boxcar Dan, or Dan Casely, along with Cornbread, The Engineer, Kentucky Slim, Grit, and Homebrew. And you're going to love this story. The guys played the Shellfish Festival in 2011 and were slotted in to follow a troupe of little girls step dancing for their grandmothers. Needless to say, they weren't asked back after their raucous performance. Both delighted and shocked people, but I say they're perfectly welcome here. From their 2018 album Bindle of Sin, this is Boxcar Dan and the Vagabond Strangers with the old In Out and Out. Thank you, A Clockwork Orange, and you'll thank me for this.
isletunes content warning. Listener discretion is f***ing advised.
Her husband is a fisherman, and when he goes out to sea, she goes in jigging in me pants and sets me willy free. I swabs her deck from stern to bow, we smooch and lick and screw. My God, I loves the fisherman's wife, there's nothing she won't do. Me boots are under the bed right now, me coat's upon a wreck. My keys are on the table and his wife is on her back. I'm sweating and she's screaming, no idea the trouble I'm in. Cause I was pulling out, you see, as he was pulling in. Yes, I was pulling out, you see, as he was pulling in. Her husband is the butcher, but it's her that handles me meat. She lets me taste her rump roast, rubs me wiener with her feet. Her thighs are always in the air, wrapped around me head. There's a daily special Isle of more than a butcher's wife in bed. Me boots are under the bed right now, me coat's upon a wreck. My keys are on the table and his wife is on her back. I'm sweating and she's screaming, no idea the trouble I'm in. Cause I was pulling out, you see, as he was pulling in. Yes, I was pulling out, you see, as he was pulling in. Her husband is a farmer and when he's out in the field, it's me that's doing the plowing and her that collects the yield. She had lots of practice milking, knows where to put the corn. A rolling the hay with the farmer's wife's like starring in a porn. Me boots are under the bed right now, me coat's upon a wreck. My keys are on the table and his wife is on her back. I'm sweating and she's screaming, no idea the trouble I'm in. Cause I was pulling out, you see, as he was pulling in. Yes, I was pulling out, you see, as he was pulling in. Her husband is a preacher and when he's out saving souls, I'm face down in her pew and she's praying to my pole. She says, good Lord, I'm coming now, stop my holy Trinity. Not seeing the light with the preacher's wife sounds like heaven to me. Me boots are under the bed right now, me coat's upon a wreck. My keys are on the table and his wife is on her back. I'm sweating and she's screaming, no idea the trouble I'm in. Cause I was pulling out, you see, as he was pulling in. Yes, I was pulling out, you see, as he was pulling in. Yes, I was pulling out, you see, as he was pulling in.
I'd blush, but I got over that in broadcasting school. Boxcar Dan and the Vagabond Strangers with 2018's The Old In Out on iTunes. Dude, their live shows must be something else. Still to come, iTunes commemorates the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Yeah, on the subject of live shows, they're still happening around here. What, you thought they all dried up after Labor Day? If anything, these off-summer shows probably do better since there's not nearly as much for them to compete with. And I'm gonna tell you where to catch them all, no, not Pokemon, with gigs to dig across Prince Edward Island. Tomorrow, Monday, September 30th, it's the final show for Two Tellers and Tunes with Gary Evans and Alan Buchanan, featuring Courtney Hogan Chandler and more at King's Playhouse in Georgetown. Tuesday, October 1st, it's Treaty Day Mawiomi for the 5th annual Treaty Day with traditional songs and drumming at the Eastlink Center, of course, in Charlottetown. Wednesday, October 2nd, it's Fall Flavors Taste of Georgetown with Joss Rayom, Shane Pendergast, Luca Hall, and Todd McLean. Guess where? King's Playhouse in Georgetown. Also on the 2nd, it's the Songs and Stories of Stompin' Tom featuring Whiskey Jack at the Trailside Music Hall. That show is also happening October 4th and October 6th. Thursday, October 3rd, Nebo puts on their album launch show at the Trailside. Also on the 3rd, Janina McGillivray throws her album launch show with The Burning Hell and Tanya Davis at the Guild, of course, in Charlottetown. Friday, October 4th, Lawrence Maxwell is at the Trailside. Saturday, October 5th, it's Julia Robichaux, Zebedee, and Takeda at the Sportsman's Club in Charlottetown. And also on the 5th, the Canadian staff band UPEI Department of Music recital at UPEI's Performing Arts Center. Looking into next week, October 6th, it's the Welcome Fall Kaylee featuring Jolene Willis and Peter Richards of Blue Streak. They're playing at Bonshaw Hall in Bonshaw. Also on the 6th, it's a fundraising variety show for Mont Carmel Parish Hall at Mont Carmel Parish Hall in Welland. Wellington. October 10th, United by Song featuring Joss Rayon, Brielle Ansems, Noah Malcolm, Nathan Wiley, Luca Hall, John Connolly, and more with host Tanya Davis. They're all playing at the Confed Center. Also on the 10th, it's Island Jazz, Chris Corrigan at the Vanguard, Volume 1 at Baba's Lounge. Heads up, Volume 2 is happening there on the 17th. October 11th, Nick Donovan's 7th annual tribute to John Prine happens at the Trailside. That show is also happening October 12th and 13th. And October 12th, it's the Peace Concert featuring Ruth Mathiang, Tanya Davis, Scott Parsons, the Gaia Singers, Tony Redden, and a Palestinian-Canadian performer. That's all happening at Trinity United in Charlottetown.
Hey guys, it's your boy Rifle, and you're listening to isletunes.
isletunes Rock Block.
We scrubbed our skin with a wire brush. They broke the boundaries of all trust. Forget the language our parents taught us. 'Cause when they're done, you won't recognize yourself. They cut our hair, they scarred our skin. They tried to break the child within. They cut our hair, they scarred our skin. Our hearts, they ached with pain so hard to bear, as we longed for our parents' love and care. No love was shown, no kindness there, only unearned shame and great tears of fear. Way highway, hey highway, hey hey oh. Way highway, hey highway, hey hey oh. Hardwood floors laid throughout this place. The workers here, oh, what a disgrace. They were attempting to wipe our whole race. Feelings of anger, grief, and shame. They cut our hair, they scarred our skin. They tried to break the child within. Yeah, they cut our hair, they scarred our skin. Yeah. Our hearts, they ached with pain so hard to bear, as we longed for our parents' love and care. No love was shown, no kindness there, only unearned shame and great tears of fear. Only unearned shame and great tears of fear. An open grave reveals a hidden past. Buried truth revealed at last. Since buried truth has been revealed, now there's no way to conceal. What was done has been done. A time to reflect for everyone. Breaking the silence helps us heal the hurt and pain that is so real. For way too long we've hurt and bled. Now is the time to look ahead. No more shame. Move past blame. We've been torn apart, but the truth is we are one. So now the healing can begin with one another and within. Forgive the actions of the past, making new bonds healthy to last. Live as one, share and nurture, treat each other right for our future. It's time to mend and look above, to fill our hearts and minds with love. No more shame. Move past blame. No more shame. Move past blame. We've been torn apart, but the truth is we are one. Breaking the silence from our past. Buried truth revealed to last.
She's 18. 18, mind you! And her website's description of her as an indigenous pop powerhouse does not disappoint. That's Dee Dee Austin with Buried Truth and Buried Truth Part 2 and 3. Back-to-back on-blast exposés about the Canadian residential school system where, I'm ashamed to say, us white folks did our best to assimilate indigenous children into our culture and erase theirs, all in an atmosphere of abuse, malnutrition, and disease that caused the deaths of thousands of students. Amazingly, PEI New Brunswick didn't have these schools. Too bad the rest of Canada didn't follow that example. The schools were purposely established extremely far away from Indigenous communities to reduce the risk of parents visiting and culturally contaminating their kids. Did you know the last residential school only closed in 1997? 1997! How did people not know better by then? This is why we now have the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation to recognize these atrocities and their generational impact, and this is why Dee Dee recorded these songs about it as a member of Abugut First Nation here on PEI. Catch Dee Dee performing her full range of songs, and don't be fooled into thinking she doesn't have some club bangers in her repertoire, at the Harborfront Theater October 29th. Now, I did attempt to get a new interview for you guys this week. I did. But sometimes, despite your best efforts, well, maybe it's just as well, because with both the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation and Treaty Day upon us, this is a great time to zonk back to exactly 1 year ago, when Olnue knowledge keeper Julie Pelissier-Lush sat down for the iTunes microphones to talk to us about those two observances, as well as the album for the Mi'kmaq Heritage Actors that had just come out. One thing that still applies this year is the fact that the Treaty Day Mawiomi is once again happening October 1st from 12 to 5 at the Eastlink Center, as mentioned in the gig list earlier. I went last year, and it is absolutely fascinating, and so is Julie herself. She's wonderful and warm, and you feel peaceful just being near her. So let's recap our chat with what can only be called an
iTunes Flashback.
Now, as you hopefully know, September 30th is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, so I wanted to mark that here on iTunes. And what better way to do that than to talk with Olnue knowledge keeper Julie Pelissier-Lush. You cannot do a search on PEI Indigenous anything without her name coming up, and so she had to be here. I'm so happy that you're here, Julie.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. This is really an important day and an important meeting for us.
Hey, I feel like I've known you a long time already. Now, your credits are like yay long. You're an actress. You are an author of My Mi'kmaq Mother and several more books. You wrote the poems that became the basis for the Mi'kmaq Legend show. Where do we even start? Maybe you can talk to us about your role at Olnue, and we'll go from there.
With Olnue, I am the knowledge keeper, which means that I am the one who was asked and selected by Olnue to be the voice in different committees across PEI, to be the teacher and sharer of teachings and culture and knowledge in different community organizations, different government organizations. I go and do cultural workshops, and I have cultural sensitivity, cultural knowledge, and cultural teachings that I provide for different places to make sure that they're working on gaining a better understanding of who we are as Indigenous people here on PEI.
Why don't we talk about your music? Because you are featured on several albums, not just as a writer, but as a performer.
Yes, we have been working very, very diligently since 2011, working with elders, working with drum groups, trying to learn the old traditional Mi'kmaq songs and chants and dances for our young dancers. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of time. Like, we'll dedicate usually our winters to working with elders and working with drum groups and asking them to teach us new material and being able to share that. But it was, it's hard work, and being able to learn a new song is one thing. Being able to learn a new song in an old language that a lot of us aren't really familiar with. We want to be, and we're trying to be, but we're not 100%. And to be able to learn this and be able to perform it, not just in front of non-Indigenous audiences, but in front of Indigenous audiences who do know the language. And you really want to make sure that you have your pronunciation, your pauses, and all those other things right, because it's so concrete and it's so solid that those little nuances are also, you're not just learning a word, you're learning what that word means to a whole group of people, and how the connotations, the intonation, how you're saying it, how fast you say it, how slow you say it, all means something different. And so we are learning that, and we had our first CD recorded this past winter, on the coldest day in February. It was absolutely freezing, but we got it done, and now we put our name in for an award with Music PEI, and
that's great.
Got it.
Yes.
Community Contributor of 2023. And I have just submitted a few entries into the ECMAs. So under children's and under Indigenous. So I'm hoping that we have an opportunity to let these little ones just shine with the work that they've accomplished on these tracks. It is at the Indigenous PEI store.
Well, the album, I forgot to ask the name of it.
Sing, Dance, Drum. And you'll see on the front cover, we have like 30 young people sitting on Cavendish Beach with huge smiles of all the accomplishments that they have. And we did it professionally. Like we had the case done professionally, so you open it up and you see more pictures of our young people and then the lists of songs. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece that we're super proud of. And we did this out of the well-being grant, the well-being fund that we are a part of. And this year our opportunity is to write a book with our young people. So, and then next year, for the third year of our funding, we're going to be doing a full-length movie.
Oh, wow. We've got, as we said at the beginning, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation coming up. Is there any local music that gets into that? Do you feel like there needs to be more in general and towards the day?
Well, in my opinion, and I'm just saying that from what I've seen, the TRC Day is really more a day of reflection, a day where we are going to have the flag lowering down at the government buildings in the morning. And it's a day just to sort of self-reflect on what it means to you, what it means to your community, what, if you're not from the community, what it means to you to be an ally to the community. There's so many different things that are a part of that. And then all of a sudden the very next day is Treaty Day, and that's when the flags get raised at the government building. And we are having a half-day Maui at the East Link Center, where you can come and dance with us and sing with us and celebrate. And there's going to be feasts, and there's going to be artisans set up so you can come and buy stuff right from the artisans. So it's going to be a big and amazing day. And that's where there's going to be drum groups, there's going to be singers, there's going to be music, there's going to be feasting. So the TRC Day in itself is really, I find, more of a somber day. And I think we might incorporate a little bit of traditional drumming during the event in the morning. But the next day, the Treaty Day, is where we're just going to come out at 110 and invite everybody and anybody to come and join with us and be with us and share and celebrate in Treaty Day.
So I was looking over some of your stuff, and as we talked about it, we decided we're going to play a track that you're going to have to explain because when I first looked at the title, I was like, what? MMIWG2S.
There was a group of women in a basement that would share our stories and our feelings and our emotions. And then finally the government stepped in and came with note paper and took notes on all of our thoughts. And the first thing that really came out of all of these meetings across Canada that I was a part of was our missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls in Two-Spirited. About 4 or 5 years ago, we were asked to create a song that would become a song that would ensure that these voices, these spirits, would live on and they wouldn't be forgotten. It isn't something that I can say, many, many years ago, this was an issue. It's still an issue today, and so this song was created as a way to make sure that the dialogue kept happening, that we don't let this disappear. We don't let these women disappear. We keep fighting for the truth. We keep fighting for them to be found. We keep fighting for answers as to how to prevent this horrible tragedy to keep happening and replaying over and over and over. So we need to continue to be able to, as a musician, as an artist, be able to create something that in some small way will keep that discussion happening.
And we want to remember, and it's so important that you're doing it through music.
Exactly.
This is MMIWG2S here on iTunes. This has been Julie Pelletier-Lush. Thank you so much. I'm so honored that you're here.
Thank you, my friend.
Now and then, and pray this tragedy
every day for their lives cut short and gone away, for their families and their friends. Give them hope that someday this will end. Yo-ay-yo, 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 yo-ay-yo. Think of us now and then, and pray this tragedy will end.
Today's the day we shall say our story will not end this way. From our past, this I know. Things have to change even if it's slow. Yo-ay-yo, 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 yo-ay-yo.
Think of us now and then, and pray this tragedy will end.
The Mi'kmaq Heritage Actors on iTunes with a track from their 22-song album Sing, Dance, Drum, which came out September 2023. MMIWG2S. That stands for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls and Two-Spirit. This is all something I want to help elevate so that one day, hopefully in the near future, we won't need songs like this anymore. As for those awards Julie submitted for, the Mi'kmaq Heritage Actors did pick up the City of Charlottetown Leo Chevery Community Contributor of the Year Award from Music PEI in March. Well, 2024 is now 3/4 of the way over, and what the hell? But what are you going to do about it? I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap up this episode and start thinking about the next one, which I do so you don't have to. You don't have to do this either, but if you like what you're hearing and have some loonies and or toonies you can spare to help support this podcast and its running, check in the description for the link to PayPal, through which you can donate a little or a lot. And if you like the subscriber thing, you can do that at patreon.com/isletunes, where you'll be treated to extended video interviews. I may be hella behind on getting those edited, I hate to admit how behind, but the full chat with Julie Pelissier-Lush is up there. Comment, suggest, or request at amj@isletunes.ca or by voice message or text at 902-807-4250. Use those avenues to record yourself saying an Islanderism to start out the show. This one started out with Brent Dolomount. Become an Isle Tuner by following the pod on social media, where among ceaseless self-promotion, I also provide links to where you can buy the music you hear here, because when you break it all down, it really is about the music. This episode of iTunes was sponsored in part by Technomedia. Musical contribution to the iTunes theme by Kaylin McCauley and John Hashem. Show concept by Rocky O'Neill. Coordination assistance by Jackie Robichaux. I'm Adam Michael James, and next Sunday, I really do have a new interview coming up featuring a new band crossing a new bridge. You got your hint in that, so you got 7 days to work with it. Plus, you're gonna hear brand new stuff from Island troubadour Dennis Ellsworth. Wait, you say, didn't he just release his Luna EP, which just came out 2 weeks ago? He sure did. I told you he's as prolific as Prince. So come on back for that and more, and bring friends, and tell them to bring friends. It'll be just like the classic days when folks gathered around their radios, except now it'll be phones and laptops. Shutting up now, so be good, and if you can't be good at it. See yous in a week, and thanks for listening, PEI.